When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. The night my mother died, I sat by her bed, I held her tight, and I sang this song. This was a song that made her happy. It was my way of giving my mother peace and safety. And in that moment, I lost her. But the truth is, I had lost my mother once before. This is my brilliant mother, Greta. She's creative, she's caring, and she's colorful. She has a love of flowers and a great love of music. She's ambitious, outgoing, and really fun to be around. Her job was really important to her. She was traveling around, buying and selling seeds and flowers and soil. And her job was a big part of her identity. Slowly, she started to struggle with everyday tasks at her work. And her boss was not really good at handling this. She got scared. She thought it was really hard not maintaining her daily work. After some time, she was sent on sick leave, and she never came back to work. After consulting with her doctor, she was sent to this research program at the local hospital. For some time, she was going through tests and doing practices, and one day I was invited to follow my mom to the doctor's office. And the doctor was a neurologist. We sat down in the office, and the neurologist looked at my mom and said, Greta, you have the diagnosis called Alzheimer. And she looked at me and she said, and you, Marianne, you are the closest caregiver to your mom. And I don't know if we thought, we understood the seriousness of the situation there and then. And my mom, she just became quiet. And I asked the question, is there something we can do? And the doctor said, there is no cure for this. But what you could do, and then she looked at my mom, there are 5 things you can do. You can exercise 3 times a week. You can sleep 6 to 9 hours a night. You can eat healthy. You can stimulate your brain and learn new things. And then she looked my mom in the eyes and she said, and Greta, you need to stop smoking. And there we were. My mom got this deadly diagnosis that Alzheimer is. It's also a diagnosis that takes away your identity. And all we got was a little yellow note with a phone number for a helpline. No structured plan. We went outside to sit in the cafeteria to talk about this. And I asked my mother, how can I help you? What can I do to help you in this situation? And my mother looked at me and said, we need to keep this a secret. No one's gonna know this. I don't want anyone, the family or anyone, to know about the diagnosis. And Marianne, me and you are not gonna talk about it either. And then I acknowledged that this diagnosis comes with a great shame for my mom. But at the same time, I felt I need to be loyal and respect her wishes. But how do I help when everything was supposed to be a secret? How do I proceed from this? Both of us were so unprepared for the Alzheimer's disease, trying to live our lives as normal. She knew that she was going to lose control of herself and her body. And she also knew that she was going to die from this. And I knew that I was going to lose her, but how? And when? We entered years of chaos. My mother was the type of woman who was always clean and well-dressed, and her hair was always nicely made. But everything changed. I remember my mom was going to do the laundry and took a pile of dirty laundry, put it into the washing machine, closed the door, put in the laundry detergent, but never pushed the button. Later, went in, took out the dirty laundry, and hanged it up to dry. My mom could take off all her clothes, go into the shower, soap herself in, never turn on the water, go out of the shower, dry herself up, and put on the dirty clothes. She would go outside and walk down to her hairdresser, only 10 minutes away, make her hair, and then, when she was going to go home, she couldn't find her way back home. And in her fridge, it was full of food, but it all had expired. But she ate it anyway and got really sick. And the phone calls. She called me every day, every night, continuously, because she was scared. She needed safety. And I had to take that phone call every time. She got really depressed, and she isolated herself. So I had to take responsibility. For 10 years, in a standby mode, I was always ready. I never had rest. And after navigating and fighting the system, she finally got a place at a nursing home. She was finally safe, but she was not happy. She was scared. She was angry. She was sad, and she was frustrated. And she told me every time I came to visit that she wanted to die, and she blamed me. I was emotionally exhausted by this after all these years, and it was my time to be sent on sick leave because I was burned out. My mother lived in a nursing home for almost 6 years, and I visited her almost every week. She lost her creativity, she lost her colors, and she lost her way of caring. And she did no longer remember who I was. And on the 8th of August, she died. And now I have all the feelings. I feel grief, I feel love, I feel thankfulness, I have a sense of freedom, I feel relief, but I also feel regret. Every feeling I have is welcome, and every feeling is okay. I learned so much about the Alzheimer's disease and my mom. I learned so much about a healthcare system that is overwhelmingly unprepared for this disease. But also, I learned how to care for my mother. I found the keys to her heart and to her mind. Like flowers. If I brought her flowers, which she knew very well. She could both scent them and smell them and look at them aesthetically, and they would also bring memories and music. I could show her pictures from my granddad with a funny hat, and suddenly she had a great story to tell. I used to bring her her favorite cake, the yellow cake that she made that was so good. And every time I brought that cake, she could say, "It's not as good as mine." I could bring her cookies, and every time she tasted that cookie, that special cookie, she could get a memory from when she was biking with her dad. And I could bring strawberries, and whenever she took a bite of a strawberry, there was a song coming. So music has been a really important thing for us in how we connected. And even though she couldn't remember my name, she could sing lyrics from old songs. And this was how I reached her. And this is how we communicated. There are 55 million people in the world living with dementia. Every third second, someone gets the disease. And there is no cure yet. And behind every person, there's a family. And when one is affected, everyone in the family is affected. And I'm sad to say that we are not giving the people with dementia the dignity and the treatment that they deserve. Not in my country, and the rest of the world is also struggling with this disease. I am now a dementia activist. I wrote a book. I have a podcast. I communicate openly about the dementia and what it makes us experience on my social media. I travel around advocating this. And there is a lot of stigma and a lot of shame around this disease. And my mother felt both. The shame and the stigma are reasons why I believe that openness is key. I'm standing tall in debates against policymakers and politicians, and I will not give in until we see a radical change in how we take care of people with dementia. The night I lost my mother, I sang her into her death. I know that she could hear the song. And I know she knew deep inside it was me, her daughter, who was singing it. And I did it to make her feel safe. And that's what we all long for, to feel safe, seen, and cared for. And that's why I will keep fighting for a world where people with dementia and their families are not left to carry the weight alone. Thank you.